I want to review 5 of the books of Melanie Cellier. I hope I pronounced it right. She's a new to me author, and I'm reviewing them also for ShakeOn. I'm one of the librarians, and she will be one of the authors there, so I'm catching up with reading what I already got from her, because I'm just kind of gathering free books over years, and then when I feel like it, I'm getting back to the reading. So most of them are the first books of a series. So the first I am reviewing is book 1 of the Mage's Influence series. It's Seeds of Glory and Ruin. I guess it could count as a Magic Academy book, but it's a lot different, and I like that about it. Actually, the second one I'll be talking about is also kind of Magic Academy, but not exactly. The second one is more. The Seeds of Glory and Ruin is taught from the point of view of the insignificant sister, and I think it's very interesting point of view and like way of telling it, but it kind of drags the story a bit, because she cannot decide about anything besides her own actions. So I think it's a bit harder to get into because of that, because we keep waiting for her to be the main character, and she's for the 2/3 of the book a side character. And why it's interesting, because it's different, it's clearly visible why it's not often done. There's a romantic subplot, but it's not a big one, and it's like very slow burn romance. So we're not getting into anything in the book 1. She's just kind of attracted to this one guy. What I like about it is the character herself, that she's very analytical and tries to think through all the possibilities, and she knows she's not the main character, as to speak, but because like often in the books it's like the main character is just assuming everything goes around them, and like she knows she's not the center of the universe. So that was nice, like really seeing character knowing that not everything is about her, and just trying to be okay with that, dealing with jealousy about her sister, and trying to find friends, but like knowing that there won't be many, because her position is in this academy just because her sister got a very high position in this society. I think this is the most interesting part, to see the main character struggle with not being important. But as I said, it's this particular way of telling a story has its drawbacks, because since she's not very important, she doesn't create important events, and she doesn't have important input into the event until the very end of the book. So from all her books that I read, this second one that I'm going to tell you about is my favorite. It's the Voice of Power, the book 1 of the Spoken Mage series. And it's kind of very similar, but has a lot also of differences. Well, she has a sister, but her sister is younger, and she's kind of seen herself as caretaker of the sister, and she has an older brother. So at least the dynamic of the families are very different. But she is the main character. She is the one with the surprising power, and it's way closer to the like Magic Academy young adult. She's 17, I think, and the other was 16, possibly. Well, anyway, they are both teenagers, and like it's more closer to the typical Magic Academy book about teenagers, but she is still like very analytical, and I think my daughter will really like that aspect about it. She doesn't go crazy in love in the handsome love interest. And again, is the romantic subplot is very slow burn. We do get a kiss at the end, but that's about it. She's still unsure about the guy. She's even unsure if she didn't dream it up because she's exhausted at this point. And maybe I should say it's a spoiler. Whatever. But she isn't expecting much because like she's from a peasant family and they usually don't have the magic abilities. And while she does, it takes her a long time to take control of them. And she knows that none of the other trainees will accept her fully as a equal, though she does have a friend from the beginning. So in both of those books, the main character gets a really close friend, and I think that's a really good relationship too. So they're not angsty and all alone for most of the book or whatever. They do have backup in both of them, but especially in this one is a lot of political kind of maneuvering that she doesn't know a lot about, and she kind of has to figure out on her own as it goes who to trust, who to not trust, and I think it just adds more depth to it than just, oh, I'm magic and I'm special and all the hot boys in the school want to be with me. that are often like this kind of books. It's not, it's really nice, and I will be buying a paperback of it and of the whole series, I think. Okay, so last 3 books are like in a box set. The Four Kingdoms box set 1. The first one in this set is The Princess Companion, and it's a retelling of The Princess and the Pea. One thing that bothered me a bit is that it's nicely set up that they get to know each other and fall in love, but they both know that they can't be together. But then like the princesses start coming to test the pea, like they don't know about it, but that's kind of what the queen set up for the prince, and it's just frustrating to, and like kind of angsty that she has to go through all those visiting princesses and kind of hold herself, I can't fall in love with the prince. I didn't enjoy that part when she is like, yeah, I kind of wish I could be with him, he wants to be with her, but they hold by this procedure that he agreed to before they met, and it's just not really something I want to read about in a romance novel especially. So I was very skeptical to go through with it, continue with the next ones. I think it's because also that they this one was one of her earlier books, so of course she improved with the 2 books I talked previously, or she just wanted to be different and just kind of make unexpected choices, which I guess it confirms like the pattern with the Seeds of Gloria, Ruin Glory, something, with the POV of the sideline character, kind of like she is going to become the main character, but like as I explained, for the most part of the book she doesn't have anything to do. Like she does, but she's not important. So I guess that was one of the kind of, oh, I want to try this. The second book is The Princess Fugitive, and actually I liked it more, even though it starts with the like the main character is the villain of the first book, but we get to know her more and discover how she was shaped, and like it's very much a redemption story, and it's very much of a Christian allegory too, and it's much more straightforward as far as romantic plot goes, so it was way nicer read. It's supposed to be a Red Riding Hood retelling, but it was only a couple of dreams that kind of connected to that, and of course that she had to escape. She had to run through the forest, more or less. So I didn't see very much a retelling kind of aspect, which I don't mind. It's just I don't think it should be advertised as it. I wouldn't tell, oh, I know what I'm getting into this book because I know what Red Riding Hood is about, because it was completely different. It was a nice book. They all are clean. There's nothing like iffy about it. There's nothing to be like afraid of if it's something like there's a bit of violence, but like it's kingdom fantasy, so to be expected. And the last one in the box set is a novella, Happily Ever Afters, and it's a reimagining of Snow White and Red Rose. And I don't really know about this fairy tale all too much, except that there were these two sisters that were very different, but they loved each other, whatever. So it is two cousins that we met in the previous book, and they do each find their happily ever afters, and they fight a villain. Like it's a lot of like figuring out. They find about the plot in the beginning of the book, and they try to find the bad guy, and of course they keep figuring out if the guys that they are interested in are not the bad guys. So it was nice. It was kind of intriguing, and kind of I wasn't sure who's who. Like of course one of the bad guys was plainly stated, but I wasn't sure if he was the main bad guy, or he was working for someone, or one of the other guys, the good guys, were working for him. So it was really nice to kind of be kept in suspense. And both of the girls, especially Evelyn, was very much suspicious and trying to analyze and pushing her emotions away, because like she's a guard for the queen and she needed to make sure that she's not being stupid. So I think this one was my favorite of all three from the Kingdoms, even though it's just a novella, but it was nicely tied up and very engaging plot. And I think that it was like the two point of views, Sarah and Evelyn, was very much beneficial for this book, and really fun to read.